up, Ham Radio? Kilo Echo 8, Papa Zulu November, the Ham Radio Adventure Guy. Thanks for stopping by. Your one stop for everything Adventure Radio. It is Hump Day. Means it's time for the Hump Day happy hour and Hayden's eyeballs on the screen.
Got my eye on you.
Got my eye on you. All right. I'll see what's going on with you guys in just a second after we thank these guys here because they're awesome. And I think that's all I'm allowed to say about them. But they're just really cool people. As well as the YouTube members. They're absolutely awesome as well. And then one with an updated board finally, since I wasn't able to update it on Sunday. Josh still with the lead. Dan's hanging on to second place right now. But our guest for tonight, Eastern Standard Time, is trying to make that move. And we got to give a shout out to actually Josh, Kilo 4 Lima, India, and Kilo 8. I thank Kilo 8 Golf Corvette, but we'll thank him one more time on Sunday. But we'll thank him again. And Kilo Echo 4 Eastern Standard Time for the off-stream donations. Oh, what's up, Dan?
All I'm doing on that list is mowing the grass of Josh's mansion that he bought.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I feel like Jesus the horticulturist.
So you know, it's fun. It's funny, but I really appreciate all the donations I get and stuff like that. But,
can we move this stream one channel over? I got a net about to start up on this one.
Yeah, well, you know,
that's great.
You asked nightly. We probably could move it over for you one
That's right.
one or two.
Only one KC.
But I don't even want to talk about nets. I don't want to talk about anything. I'm going to let you guys talk off stream.
All right.
Dan, what's going on, man?
Nothing. Trying to find more hours in the day to get done with all the stuff that I need to do.
Yeah, you know, I agree. I think you're too busy because you're not in my log enough this year. Like,
well, you are becoming the standard Florida activator because your first spot of the day you went straight to 10 meters. You know, you said the heck with 40 meters. They don't need that in Florida.
I worked 40.
Yeah, like 6 hours later.
Listen, you want me to tell you why I started on 10 meters?
Because it's hot.
Most people would think that's why. They're like, oh, he started on 10 meters because it's on fire right now. And everybody wanted to go over to 10 meters and activate. But you know what? That wasn't the case. I started on 10 meters because I'm lazy. And that's where my radio was when I turned on the power button. And I was like, oh, cool. We're starting at 10.
There you go.
And I went totally backwards on my because normally in Florida I will start on 40, then go, or I'll start on 20, then go 40, 15, 10 CW. And hey, you're welcome for the double. That was pretty awesome. I like those doubles. But thank you very much for the super sticker. I'm going blind from the heat down here, I guess. I thought this was a stupid sticker at first.
The antenna overlord is in the chat.
So, but anyway, you know, I just went backwards today. I started on 10 meters, then went 15, then 40, then 20, and then CW. So.
Well, when I rarely get to play radio when it's still daylight outside, the upper bands have been smoking. I've been really impressed with them here lately.
Yeah, the main reason I'm getting them in as much as I can is because I know once I go back to the mountains, I'm not going to be that lucky. I'm not going to be able to pull that off like I like to. So it's fun. It's fun to do while you can. Get it while you can.
That's right.
Hayden, what about yourself? How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. I was in West Virginia over the weekend. Got out and activated for the first time this year. We were at Kilo 7017, the South Branch Wildlife Management Area. had a good old time and made a lot of great contacts. So that was fun. And I've started to plan my memorial activation. You guys may remember that we did it last year. It's scheduled for Saturday, April 27th from 10 to whenever. If you're in the area, you're more than welcome to come by. I've posted the event in Discord, and I'll be posting it a couple times on the Facebook photo page. If you want to join us, feel free to join us. If you want to work us on the radio, you get a nice certificate commemorating Bob and everything that he's done for the AM radio community. And it's a good time on the air and off the air.
Good deal. But yeah, Bob was a good guy. You know, I can remember back in the day when I was young in Dakota. You know, he was in my log quite a bit. So really good guy. All right, so I guess that means we're going to move over to our guest. First off, we're going to talk a little bit about Allstar, and we all know that I'm not a 2-meter guy, so I probably don't know jack about Allstar, even though I want to learn some. And Michael here, he happens to install and do Allstar links for people and stuff like that. So we figured we'd reach out to him and learn a little bit, maybe, possibly, or either that or he'll just go on a whirlwind and talk about peanut butter or something. But Michael, welcome to the show. And before you start on Allstar, go ahead and tell us about yourself and what got you into ham radio, bud.
Oh, let's see. It was 31 years ago. Well, started off like a lot of people back then into CB and all that stuff at the teenagers, whatever, because I was 17. And then discovered ham radio, and I'd hear the guys talking because I had a short wave receiver, but it had the VHF bands on it. And I was like, what is these guys? I'm hearing on this repeater. And then I finally figured it out, and it went from there. So I've been an extra since 94. Got my first ticket in 93. Back when you had to do code. So been in and out of that over the years and seen a lot of stuff come and go and a lot of trends and things happen and all that. So I've done everything I can think of except for Earth, Moon, Earth. I've never tried that over the years.
Roger, man. So what got you interested in the Allstar links and stuff? Well,
I think Josh was the one, KE4EST was the one that told me about it first. On that. Now I got him into the other side, in the digital stuff, like the digital modes like DMR and System Fusion. But I've discovered it, and I was like, what is this here? And so I started messing with it and started using it. The neatest thing is you can just take a Pi, and set it up, put it on there, and set it and forget it. Runs Linux, it runs forever, never dies.
Go ahead. Sorry, the reason I posted that comment was to rub it in Dan's face because he don't got me at that part.
Well, so this is about Allstar, the ham radio Allstar, not like.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I thought we were going to learn about Smash Mouth today.
You type in Allstar, you get all kinds of stuff, unless you put an Allstar link.
No.
So it's allstarlink.org, I think.
Right.
But it's kind of like, if you're familiar with the hotspots on 2 meters and stuff, digital, and there's a lot of people that don't have anything to do with anything but Allstar because they say it's pure analog. And I sat there and go, what? Okay. But it goes in analog, like anything else. Of course, it's digitized through the internet, but it comes back out. It's got, a DAC on the other side, or one side and an ADC on the other side, and then it comes out, and it does come out, analog, and it does sound a lot better, richer and fuller. It don't have that digital sound, like DMR or whatever. Mm-hmm. So you can be talking to somebody like the other day when Rachel was on that net that Liz was telling me about. What is that? The after school net. I connected up and I'm listening to it on my repeater in Murphy, North Carolina. And Rachel could have been in my backyard talking. It's that that good. As long as you got good internet, it's so smooth and it's real time, and it don't have all those hiccups and burps and when you. If anybody's ever had a hotspot or listened to a hotspot, from digital, exactly what I'm talking about.
That's one thing that's one thing I've never liked about DMR, and especially also coming from a different background, not amateur radio, like Moto Turbo and P25 systems have that same. Sometimes it's just hard to understand people.
Yep. Yeah, some of it's too compressed, and then they digitize it on top of that.
So does it have that delay like say Echolink does and stuff like that?
It does a little bit, but of course that just depends on your internet and stuff. But it's not as bad. So,
because I know I've used Echolink quite a bit. Like when I'm down here, I'll check into my net back home and stuff like that. And the problem I found with it is, so if somebody else is talking, you got to wait for a decent amount of time after they stop before it'll light up for you to transmit. The delay is pretty bad. Yeah. And if you get two people like, Dan and Hayden on there talking, somebody on Echolink ain't never going to be breaking in because there's just not enough time in between.
Yeah, yeah.
My name is not Kurt.
You got to guess at it. You got to kind of time it just right to get in, sometimes. But yeah, there is a little bit of delay. Like sometimes you need to. Depends on what you're using, because you can use a computer, you can use Raspberry Pis, whatever, different things. But you got to, and your internet and all that's going to affect it. But you got to learn your setup and know, okay, I need to key and kind of hold the key for a second and then say something. If not, if I key and say Kilo Echo 4 Eastern Standard Time, Rachel will come back and say, I got standard time. Can I have the rest of your call or whatever? So you got to leave that little delay in there or whatever. Because my son did that. He came in, she goes, I got an MT something, whatever. And I said, Josiah, down the hall. I said, key up and hold it for a second and then, let's go. The second time he come through just fine.
That's a trick I learned with DMR.
Yeah. But other than that, it does sound better. There's a lot of people that swear by it because it don't have that sound. They like it, and it's really, you can do the same thing, build you a hotspot and have it set up, this little thing on your desk or whatever, and this little handheld and talk into it. You'll have it usually tied to your computer, through a Supermon program. They got one called Supermon, and they got Allmon. If you use Raspberry Pis, usually use Supermon. You just go in and collect where you want to connect to, and then, you can have it set to automatically connect or whatever. But then you can sit there and handheld and walk around your house talking, on a half a watt. Or you can tie it to, like me and Josh doesn't have them tied to the repeaters. And then we can link the repeaters through Allstar. And it's amazing. It's just, this repeater's maybe a Fusion / this / that. This one's DMR / this. As long as they all got an analog, we can just tie them right in through Allstar, and we ain't got to go through all this mumbo jumbo. And it works really good. And it's got Echolink in it too. Like I've got Echolink running on the Pi tied to Allstar, so it logs it in. So comments. I got to turn my comments off. What are you reading?
So what does a person need to set up an Allstar node for like mobile for when they're say you're going back from Florida to West Virginia or something, and you want to talk to people, everywhere on 2 meter. What does a person need to do something like that?
Well, you need to get you a Raspberry Pi, and I should have had it up, but there is. Find it here in a second. There's a guy. You can homebrew anything, but there's a guy that makes. Find the website for it. He makes the things. It's pretty much plug and play. You got to, install the software on your Pi and put your call sign in, your node number, and all that. But let's see if I can find it here.
I haven't looked in quite a while, but how available are the Pis now? I know
they're back. They're back.
Okay, they are good. Okay, Are they still reasonably priced? Are they still reasonably priced like they were before, or are they up high?
The 4s and 3s are. The 5 is they raised price on. I think it's $80 for the base one, or is it?
Okay.
I don't know. I've got one. I don't know. I paid for it.
Yeah, I just know last time I looked, it was. I mean, they
Oh
were
yeah,
horrible, hard to find too. But
yeah.
glad they're getting stock back.
You have to watch that website every day. Try it if you want one bad enough. But what I did when I went to DigiKey, and I put in a pre-order, and then when they get them in, sometimes it takes 2 or 3 weeks, but they get it batch in. They would just send it out, and I didn't have to sit there and try to snap them, like these scalpers were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it would definitely be something to have because, like I said, I use EchoLink quite a bit. Matter of fact, that same net you were talking about, I checked in with Rachel on that net on my EchoLink, and then the exact same night I was bored shortly after that net, and I just threw it out there in Discord like, oh, since we're doing this, who wants to go hang out on my local repeater with me?
Oh yeah, that was neat.
And 7 or 8 of us went and nobody even in the state besides Terry, and we just sort of took over the local repeater and sit there and talk for a while. It was really cool, but it would be interesting. I'd like to set me up one just to be a little bit better than EchoLink. Plus, I ain't got to tie it to my phone and stuff like that.
Can you see that comment I made, Dan, in the private chat?
I see it.
If you go there, and then that's just the first place I landed, but that one might be made for. They've got one. There's different ones, but there's ones that's like you want to set up for like a hotspot or something. You can go to that website and look and see and post the link or whatever. But there's one called Sherry, and I don't know why he names him that because he's got like a Paul and a Diana and a Brian, and must be his kids or something. I don't know. But I've got a couple of these things like that one, that Sherry Pi Zero. I've got a Pi 2 Zero running in that thing full time. It works great. I was streaming, or not streaming, but I was connected live the other day to that net I was talking about in Michigan, and passing it through all the repeaters in the area, the ones me and Josh had linked up, and it was handling just fine on that Pi Zero.
Very nice. I just dropped this link in the chat if anybody wants to check these out.
So basically, if you've got one of those nodes, you're just basically using that node to hit a repeater that's near you to get out to another node, or
no. You used to. This is where it gets confusing to people that's not messed with any of the hotspots. But turn the hotspot on your phone, and then in your Pi have it set to connect to that internet hotspot, and then you can go in and connect to it anywhere you want in the world.
Okay, so it's basically like DMR, sort of.
Yeah.
Because no, I've done that. I've had that hotspot for DMR, and been going down the road and did that before.
Yeah.
You still need your internet connectivity. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Yazoo guy, so I've got a hotspot set for System Fusion in the car, and I can just turn it on in the truck and talk wherever I want to.
So pretty much you're getting them already set up, and all you got to do is program the hotspot, or
no, you get this, like you order one of these things. Now, the last couple I've done, I just did everything homebrew, my own interface, but this is an easy way to do it. But if you get one of these, you still got to buy a Pi. They don't come with a Pi. You buy your own Pi, put in it. You got to put it all together, and then it's not plug and play. You got to go into it and do a few Linux commands and stuff like that. But there's plenty of online things that shows.
Is it as aggravating as setting up a DMR?
No.
I can remember that process.
I hate DMR.
I
wanted to break all kinds of stuff with that.
Like once you get it working, don't breathe on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hate DMR.
Well, I used it quite a bit when I was a tech, and it was fun, for something to do. But I really ain't fooled with it much since.
Yeah, I built plenty of hotspots just for Yaesu, the System Fusion. Well, I built those Pi-Star hotspots that'll do DMR or Yaesu System Fusion for people. And then you're talking to them after a while, and I'm like, what about that hotspot? You still listening? Because I have to set up, 3D print a case and then just set up in their house, with a little screen on it or whatever. And they'll say, no, I ain't had that on, and I don't know.
Yeah,
it's cool for a while, but after a while, especially if you tune in some of those ones that's just running 24/7, somebody's always talking on them. But after a while, I guess they just get bored with it.
Yeah, and then you had to get your little cheater break-in programmed into your Pi, because if not, you couldn't never sign out of the room that people kept talking repeatedly in.
Yeah,
and that was annoying.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Actually, I like System Fusion a lot better than DMR, because you didn't have to do no code or anything. You didn't have to set up a code in your radio or nothing. You pretty much just connected to Fusion and just scrolled through a list of rooms and went where you wanted.
Yeah, it's the easiest one. Yeah, by far. And thanks to Yaesu, but System Fusion is the most widely used in the United States for the digital modes. But I don't know if you know, but if you have, the repeaters are like, I forget, $1,400-$1,500, but they're always doing $600-$700 things, and it'll last till September, they'll say, but then they'll extend it until December. Then, if you call them up and say I need a repeater, they'll give you that deal. It's like $700, but you have to show it your repeater on, and you have to keep it on the air and keep it in your possession for 1 year. Is the only stipulation, but you get a ready to go repeater. Of course, you have to put the duplexers and all that, but it's also a great analog repeater. So the first ones, the ones they got now, the System 2, the first ones they had, the DR1s, they had a few problems with them, but they get the bugs worked out in the DR2, so they work great.
So what kind of issues have you found with Allstar as far as use and stuff like that? Any at all?
Not anything off the top of my head, but I'm sure there's plenty. If you follow through, the issues I have sometimes is getting the Echo Link running on it, because you can run Echo Link, you can run, like I've got mine tied into a weather program. It'll announce on the repeater when there's a storm coming or something. It takes care of your Skywarn guy. It just comes on and says, hey, in this area and every so often you want it to, it'll come on and say, the storm's getting closer or whatever, but it's quick. It tells you and it's off. It don't tell you. It don't sit there and yap. And you can have it tell the time. You can have it do voice ID, CWID, do announcements. Don't forget the club meeting, yada, yada, yada. If there's a lot of things you can do if you get really into it. But as far as just setting it up and sticking it on there, they just work. At least using the Raspberry Pis. I've used the 3, 4s. I've got 1, 5, and those. So I've not tried the regular 0, but the 02 with the upgrade processors. I've got one of those running, and it's been working fine.
Raspberry Pi is an amazing little creature in its own self. You can run about anything with one of those.
Yeah.
You can tell everybody in the chat's POTA people tonight, because it's crickets out there. There ain't nobody asking questions tonight.
Yeah, I figured nobody like, okay.
They're talking stuff that I can't make POTA contacts on. Why do I want to hear this?
Yeah, exactly. It says on the rules you can't use a repeater.
If you do have questions about Allstar, make sure and hit us up, and we can try to get Michael to figure them out. Because like I said, I don't know a thing about Allstar, but I would like to have a node just set up just so I could have that to contact different places and stuff like that, because I know a lot of people do use them.
I got a question. So primarily, you're going to use this with an HT or a mobile radio to talk into a repeater that's Allstar equipped?
Yeah. But the repeater could just be Allstar equipped, and you don't know anything about it and you don't care. You just use that repeater like you normally would. And then another guy, or you got 2 repeaters, or you got a buddy, across the state's got a repeater that's Allstar equipped, and behind the scenes, gens go in and link the repeaters during the net, or just whenever you want to link them. And we have some that we have linked 24/7, especially how it's getting some less people talking on the radio on 2 meters and 440. So everybody's went to HF now because of POTA. But no, it's not that. I think it's just, I don't know. I think it's cell phones and all that. But
wait. Everybody went to HF, but ham radio is dying.
Yeah, no.
2 meters is dying.
Wait, as a sunspot cycle, we hit the low. Yeah,
it ain't like it was 30 years ago.
Yeah, just wait a couple of years. The sunspot cycle, we hit the low again, and everybody will be back on VHF.
Yeah. It comes and goes.
Yep.
Yeah, our local repeater used to run from these people during the day, the retired people. He's quite active, but from about 3 or 4 o'clock, just getting off work to like midnight, it didn't shut up. And now it's just these long gaps of silence.
Oh, nice, Tracy.
I commend Tracy for this, because if she's running a 2-meter net on Echo Link, that's got to be a little on the complicated side, because it's hard enough for me to check in to my local net on there again with the time delay that I was talking about and stuff. I couldn't imagine being net control and being on Echo Link and people just running over top of you. It'd kind of be like a POTA pile up.
Was your Echo Link know? Do you know if it's at the repeater side or somebody's house that's sending it?
Ours is at somebody's house.
Like most of them are RF, and it depends on that person's connection too. And if it's like that, there's going to be a little delay. If it's at the repeater side, of course, that's going to cut that delay out from going, cut the middleman out. But most people do, because most people ain't going to pay for internet at the repeater side, and some do. It depends on how big the club is, or how money the person is that's running the repeater.
Yeah. I'm in a small town in West Virginia. Our club is not the biggest of size, for sure.
Yeah.
We may have more fun than most big clubs, but we don't have a whole lot of size to us. In that perspective, I've seen some clubs, man, and it's crazy, because the different parts around the country that you live in, how some people will embrace ham radio and some people give zero craps about it. Because I've seen some clubs that get government funding from stuff like. Well, I'll give an example. I'm in the Logan Club, and there's a Boone County club, one county over. Well, Boone County, the health department every year gives grants for equipment to the Boone County Club, because every health department in the states are required to have ham radio equipment. They can't use it, but the local ham radio club should have Aries operators that can come out in an emergency to use it for them. And most of the time, their equipment is somewhere on top of a shelf somewhere, not hooked up and everything. But that they'll give a grant to that club every year to buy equipment and stuff like that. Whereas in my county, we don't get nothing like that. So it just depends on your county, I guess.
Yeah, it does. It depends on how active the club is. And there's some clubs I've been to, go to club meetings, and everybody's just a bunch of old men sitting around. And, well, here's our treasury report. What'd you do today, Paul? I don't know, Bob. Well, good to see you. It's like a little social gathering, and then they go home. And it's every month the same thing. Nobody's doing anything. You want to do field day this year? My back. Okay. That's good,
It's quite funny because our club meeting is broken into 2 different parts. The official meeting, where as in all the members that came out that night will be there. And then the people who actually go out and do everything all the time meeting that is held afterwards.
The after chat. Yeah.
Yeah, the after chat.
That's exactly what I was thinking, after chat.
And it's funny because, our meeting starts at 7 and it'll be over with 8:30. But there'll be like 5 or 6 of us there at 1 o'clock in the morning still. Like, we need to go home. We got to be on the radio tomorrow.
Yeah.
and it's crazy. But those are the 5 or 6 people that organize all the the events that we go to and doing all this stuff. And maybe the older generation used to be as active as we were back in their day, but
It could be too. I mean, some of them I know wouldn't, but it could be too. They're just older and slowed down, and we're like, "What is wrong with you?" But they might have been the same as us. They just older and slowed down. And
your club meetings, your club meetings, James, sounds a lot like our POTA activations, where we just sit around and go, "All right, man, we need to go. It's getting kind of late," and then 4 hours later, we're still sitting out there.
Yeah, after you QRT'd.
Yeah, after we QR'd, I mean, the radios are up, the antennas are down, and we're still just sitting there talking.
I've actually heard the comment before, like, "Oh God, he's going to be with Dan. It'll be 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning before he comes back because they just get together and they'll sit there forever." Which I mean, that's just what ham radio guys do,
Yeah,
it's quite funny because I know I can't let that out of the bag because that's a video coming up. But even when I go to the park by myself, sometimes we'll just say I spend more time in the park wondering different things about how things work and trying different things after my activation is totally over. Of course, this ain't on a day that I'm roving a bunch of parks. But if I'm just doing 1 or 2, you can guarantee that I'm not immediately. It's quite funny because people are starting to figure out. I've learned that I need to start turning my radio off after I'm done, because I can be totally worn out from a pileup, and it can be up 4 or 5 minutes, and I'm just fixing things and getting ready, tearing this down and putting this up, and all of a sudden somebody rolls in there, Kilo Echo 4 Eastern Standard Time. I'm like, "All right, I got you, Michael. You're 5'9". 73, and then that pile that you never had before is there, and you're like, "Oh God, why?"
You need to have somebody randomly come by and just unhook your coax.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Hey, there's Vern. Good to see you in the chat, Vern.
Hey, what's up, 6?
Always a pleasure. I can't wait till I can't wait till Huntsville to see Vern. That's about the only time I get to see Vern is Huntsville.
That happened to me yesterday. I got done activating, and I had the radio sitting there, and I was fiddling around with the computer and whatever, laptop, and all this, trying to get everything, getting ready to get everything up and leave.
Oh, nice.
Good deal, Vern. I will be there.
I told you at Huntsville, Vern, but thank you so much for the pavilion for the next forever. Really appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Vern is a great guy. He actually picks up the pavilion in Huntsville for the YouTuber meetups and stuff like that, where everybody hangs out and stuff. So great guy.
Oh, she's going to jump again in both Huntsville and Dayton. Very nice.
Oh, I did not realize that he was jumping in Dayton.
Renee.
No, I mean that Carlos was jumping at Dayton.
Oh yeah.
I know. I'm supposed to jump in Huntsville with him as well this year. So
I guess I got to take a trip to the airport then, huh?
Oh yeah. You'll be on filming duties.
I won't be in the plane. I can guarantee you that.
When you were younger, Dan, did you ever watch the A-Team?
Yeah.
Just start going around saying I pity the fool. That's all I'm gonna say to you.
I pity the fool.
Yeah. Because if you remember, they always drugged him and he ended up on the plane and he woke up angry.
Yep. I ain't getting on no plane.
Dan will wake up on the plane. I'm getting ready to jump. I'm looking and he's waking up. And I'm like, camera's right there. I love it when a plan comes together.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily checking, Vern. It's just I don't see why you would jump out of a perfectly good aircraft.
I agree, Dan.
You know,
it's a very simple question. I've always thought the same exact thing even though I used to bungee jump and do all this other crazy stuff. But it does make sense. Why would you jump out of one? And I've came to the reality of what the answer is: to make ham radio contacts.
That's there. I mean, if you ask, like pro mountain climbers, like people that like do like big wall, free solos. Why do you do it? It's like, because it's there. I mean, why not? I mean, that's what floats their boat. If jumping out of a plane floats your boat, then more power to you.
Yeah. Yeah. I won't say that it floats my boat, but what's more adventure radio than making contacts jumping out of a plane?
I did, Vernon. It looked like you had a lot of fun.
So when are you going to do it, James?
Oh, now we're getting super chats for me to do it. No. Man, I hope Carlos is not watching this. I'm gonna get so much flack over that.
Oh, yeah.
Every time I work him on the radio, I say 73. Keep your feet on the ground.
Mm-hmm. What the problem is we would need a second person, because I'm jumping with Carlos, but it would be great for Dan to jump, that way he could film and that perspective all the way down.
Listen,
the footage would be so much better if Dan would do that. What do y'all think?
1 second later,
you can have another trained jumper go with you that has a helmet camera. They do this stuff for a living.
You and Dan could jump in tandem.
No, I'm jumping in tandem with Carlos.
Oh.
I don't know if I want James strapped to me, though.
Would he be strapped to you, or would you be strapped to him?
It all depends on who you ask, I guess.
The thing is, once we made it to the ground, Hayden, his mind would change about, I don't know if I want James unstrapped for me.
I will be more than happy to do the video.
Who's holding the ICOM on the way down?
That's a good question. Yeah.
It better have its own parachute, because you're probably
man. I hope Carlos has an ICOM HT up there or something that you're making contacts on.
We'll be using my radio, the Yaesu FT3DR. For one, because I need to make sure and record everything, because
Oh, good. She'll have, okay. So Vernon and Renee will have I can talk. Stand by. Vernon and Renee will have a camera in Huntsville. So, and I'm sure somebody will there have a camera with a longer lens that we can get some closer shots of y'all, under canopy coming down. So, yeah, Tracy, that's what I was thinking. Get a longer lens. Yeah.
I was thinking Dan would be the one in the plane with the zoom lens, with the downward view, Tracy.
Now that would be fun. All right, so you ever seen the jump plane after all the jumpers get off and it does like a 45-degree dive to get back to the field?
Yeah.
That would be fun to me, because I'm in the damn plane, not outside of it.
As long as that stick works to come back up.
That's right.
You got to come back up.
No. Stephen, thank you for the super chat.
Oh, man.
So, quick question for Michael before we get too far off topic. Have you ever messed with what is it, IRLP?
No.
Okay.
I know the IRLP people, some of the Allstar people are like Ford and Chevy.
And for the people that don't know, it's internet radio linking project. And we had a node like that up here in northern Baltimore County, and you could just dial into whatever server or whatever. They had like different codes, and you could dial up into California. That was a popular one because all those yahoos out there like to have fun on the radio. But that's what Allstar kind of sounds like to me.
Yeah, you can do the same thing with DTMF tones with it. If it's open, for users or whatever, you can just dial in the code and connect up to wherever.
Because at the time, I always wanted to set up an IRLP node, but it sounds like Allstar is a lot easier to set up.
Yeah.
So Dan is saying now in the chat that his needs would say no. I just got to throw it out that I do not have an ACL in my right knee, and my left knee is shot. But Carlos is a pro, and my legs will be up. I'll be landing on my tush. I don't know how this works. So
You hope.
you know, here's the thing. When it's your time, it's your time.
Well, do me a favor before you jump. Give me the password for your YouTube account and any 2-factor stuff that you got. That way I can post your last video for you.
Oh, Lord.
No, I think you'll have the PZN's bounce.
Brent wants to know if you'll bounce.
No, I think it'll be a blast, man. And you, I mean, you never know. You might get where you're going to do it every Hamfest.
My goal when we first jump out of the plane is to give a good Kilo Echo 8 Papa Zulu November and my Zulu just to cover the whole Huntsville Mountain.
That'd be great.
Are you using your Eagle One?
Oh yeah.
There you go.
An Eagle One with my 2 meter. That sounds.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I never get amazed, the things that I get asked about my Eagle One, but Hayden, I don't know if you know this story or not. I told it the other night, Sunday night, but last weekend I was doing a QRP activation, sitting on a picnic table on the Soto Monument out there on the little island, and the dude comes by and says, "Are you using a metal detector?" No.
That's funny.
So I could imagine what he would have thought if I was using the Eagle One. That would have been pretty.
You should have talked. If you had the Eagle One, just tell him you're tracking elk in Florida.
So, all right, Michael. Since nobody's asking questions about Allstar, what you want to talk about? Because we're off topic anyway. We're gonna let you talk a little bit, man.
I don't care. What do you want me to talk about?
Have you ever jumped out of a plane?
No.
Good man.
I'm not planning on it either.
Have you ever been crazy enough to dedicate yourself to hunt one person every day of the year?
Yes.
So far, I've tried it.
Have you lost your sanity yet?
It's on the edge.
It's on the edge.
It's up, dude. It's only coming up on March.
I know.
It's really funny to hear the people like, man, this is hard. I'm like, we're in February, y'all.
The first 7 months were a breeze, dude. Of just easy peasy.
I was gonna say you learn how to manage it. It's not so bad right now once you learn what to do.
The reason why I think it's harder after that first 7 months is because you've already put that much time and dedication into it. Where now it's something you have to do, not something you want to do.
Yeah.
I don't think it's harder the last months.
No.
But I think it's more necessary in your head.
Yeah.
Because honestly, if you don't drop out after that 6 month mark, your brain's like, oh, no, you're not going to miss. They're like, oh, you're at a wedding? You better have your radio in the truck ready to go.
Yeah.
Do you take this, man? Hold on, I got to run the radio. I'll be back.
Hold the wedding.
Do you take this, Matt? Roger 73.
Hey, Vern, you can hijack the stream anytime, buddy.
Yeah, man. But no, you'll run into days that it feels impossible. There was a couple times that I was just so sick, and I almost had to crawl my butt to the radio. And that was actually I made one contact that day. I remember.
Well, imagine James though if he's really sick.
Well, see,
he has it worse.
He sat there at his desk. He's got
exactly.
This is exactly why I invented the PZN challenge. You just hit the nail on the head, because I'm not taking anything away from Bay Lynch Broad hunters. You still have to hunt somebody every day of the year. You still, I commend each and every person who's done that. But to hunt one person every day of the year is as close as you can get hunting to actually being the activator who has to go out and activate every day of the year.
Yeah.
And you have no idea how hard that can be, because just like Dan said, I was so sick I barely made it out of bed. There were days when I was that sick. I could barely make it to the car. What I was doing driving to a park, I do not know. I should have been arrested for. But it's just crazy, the stuff. Did the dogs go away? Oh. It's okay, Vern. You're nice to everybody. Hey, there's
Vern.
Kilo Charlie 4 burrito.
Let me ask the Duke of Alabama, since we have, I guess, Kingdom royalty in the chat now. Bang, bang. Would you jump out of a plane, or have you ever jumped out of a plane? Since we got on this topic.
Because All-Star means All-Star. The things you would do to be an All-Star. Jumping out of a plane.
You want me to tell you why? I mean, honestly, it's not because I'm scared to jump out of a plane. I'm not. Heights don't bother me. Falls don't bother me. I have a very addictive personality, which was probably witnessed by my first year in POTA, and almost like destroyed everything. But I think I would end up liking it so much that it would just encompass me and consume me.
Well,
yeah.
That's one way to say you're scared.
That's one way to say I'm scared.
Here is the thing with that. If I was doing it pre-cancer, I could see myself being addicted to it, because I used to be an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah.
I mean, adrenaline was my thing. But after cancer, my equilibrium's not there, and I don't have the balance I used to have. And heights, they don't scare me, but they will make my head spin. So the radio will be hooked to me. Carlos might make it to the ground on my back. And of course, Dan will have that as a short first thing.
What's that'll be a short before we leave the damn airport, I guarantee.
Dan will be like smacking me in the face. You awake? Upload.
What's the name of that medicine for motion sickness? People take like on ships or on boats.
Dramamine.
No, it's not. It's nothing like that. It's just
really?
It's just the whole equilibrium thing. Like there for like 8 months after my surgery, I would just be walking, and all of a sudden I just feel it, and I just
whiskey. That'll work too.
Yep.
But I when I was younger, definitely that would have been an adrenaline rush that would have probably been like, oh, I got to do that again. I can remember the first time I ever rappelled. It was crazy because the first time you ever lean back over the edge is so scary.
It is. Yep.
And I was scared to death, and I went down, and everybody was supposed to go down once. I climbed back up the hill because I wanted to do it again. The second time, I go to the edge, and I do one of them jumping things where I'm jumping way out and going down. They're like, I thought you'd never rappelled. I'm like, I haven't, just a minute ago. I go home. I go home and order my own rappelling gear.
Nice.
It comes in the mail, and I'm like, oh, I'm going rappelling. I was like, oh, wait. They did all the tie-in stuff. I don't know how to tie in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what do? I go to YouTube.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And look how to tie everything in. Now, if you thought the first time you ever leaned over was scary, think about the first time you lean over when you're the one tying in and you learned it on YouTube the night before.
Yeah,
that's University.
That's what I was going to say. It wasn't the lean over part. It wasn't getting to that point, of that teeter totter where, okay, now your weight's that way kind of point. It wasn't that, and it wasn't height or anything. What it was is the fact that when I reached that little tipping point, now you just come to the realization that your entire life is on this gree or whatever device you use, right? And it's like, hope it works.
You are welcome, Stephen.
And Stephen, thank you very much for being another success in CW. The people who started when I started is just killing it on CW now, and I love that. Absolutely,
he's tearing it up for sure.
And Vern, I am a stage 4 brain cancer survivor. That's why jumping out of a plane, if it's my time, it's my time, because it was supposed to be my time back then.
Golf Alpha Racy Cat must have looked up my YouTube channel. Oh, you've got one too. Yeah, go to look at my call sign on YouTube if you want to go to my YouTube channel.
You know what? Since he is on since Golf Alpha Racy Cat's in the chat, so I just want to tell everybody I did a couple bodas so I was here. All right, David, I talked about it. There you go, bud. I do actually have a boda video coming out where I did a boda. Boda. I've actually done 3 bodas.
Are you going to do any islands while you're there before you leave Florida?
I've done.
Get on a boat. Have you?
I've already done it. You've contacted me on one.
I didn't realize it was on the island.
No, Caladisi Island.
I just go by the numbers and put it in.
Wasn't she in Game of Thrones?
No, not Khaleesi
Island.
Not Khaleesi. If it was Khaleesi Island, I would probably still be there.
That's very true. That's very true.
But Caladisi Island, I've actually done Honeymoon Island too, but you can drive onto that one, so it's not as countable. Seems like there was another island that I was wanting to do. Technically, the park that I did up in Daytona, it could kind of be an island because river was on one side and ocean was on the other.
All right, we do have a request from Brent.
Wow. Gar worked me on a loop on the ground.
Yeah. And I do wholeheartedly agree with this because it's very pile busting and just awesome the way he says it. So before we end the stream, Michael, you do have to say your call sign.
Yeah, we'll let him say it right at the end.
That's right.
If he says it, everybody's going to leave.
Yeah.
We don't want everybody to leave. That's what everybody is waiting on.
You can just wait. I'm looking for the island I want you to go to.
I got something to bring up now that we're in a little bit of a lull. Tomorrow, everybody who does POTA activations or wants to do maybe your first POTA activation should do so tomorrow because it's February the 29th and you won't be able to get another POTA activation for another 4 years on that. It only happens once every 4 years, give or take a little bit. I'm not going to go into the divisible by 100, but not by 400 crap.
Oh, yeah.
But once every 4 years, you can activate on February 29th. So tomorrow, go out and get your leap year POTA activation.
And make sure and fill up your gas tank.
Reward for that?
And make sure and fill up your gas tank tomorrow too, because no gas stations are open on February the 30th.
Yeah. LB4FH is actually correct. It's actually right now. It is the new UTC day. So right now it is February 29th if you want to go get your activation. So.
All right, I'm going to go activate. I'll see how.
Oh.
I've got everything in the truck.
And Vern, that's why you're so strong, because you beat it too.
That's right. I heard that leap year activation QSOs count triple. So.
Dan is probably using the DC FT8 math. So.
Yep.
Delta Echo Lima math?
Yeah, close.
Okay.
It's that fuzzy mat.
Eric Owen already has his leap year activation in. Good job.
Yeah. And you know what's even more awesome about that? He has a legit FT8 activation in. That means it was not done at McDonald's and it was not done by a computer.
That's right. And George, yes, we will activate on leap day, but you get extra QSOs if you do it in the ultra extra portion of the band. You are absolutely correct. Yeah.
Nice.
There ain't many people's got that yet, though, so it's only a few this time.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to find a VE for it because there's not many VEs right now for it.
Listen, y'all stop. Listen,
my private message just blew up.
People should have paid attention to the end of that stream when I plainly said, shenanigans, we were pulling your leg, because Dan's private messages blew up. I got messages out the butt. I mean, everybody the next day was still asking me about that crap.
Where do I get steady, guys? Are y'all for real?
Yeah. Even you know, we picked on him the whole stream. Even the PP man was asking people the questions the next day.
Yeah, in order to get your ultra extra PP, you have to send 35 words a minute.
You know what? I'm going to give him a shout out. I'm not going to pick on him. I'm going to give him a shout out. He actually worked me on 20 meter CW today. And 20 meter CW at that time was an absolute mess. I think he worked it at the end, but it was a mess.
It was a big one.
Like, I don't.
I couldn't figure out what was going on.
For all the people who says there ain't no lids in CW, you don't do CW. Well, you don't do CW POTA. How about that? Because I promise you that sometimes I just sit back like this and hit my re-CQ. Hit my re-CQ. I'm like, when y'all learn to quit being idiots, you know, and then all of a sudden somebody will not be an idiot. I'm like, oh, let's work this one.
That's right. Vern, good to see you in the chat, buddy. Hope you have fun, and look forward to seeing you at Huntsville, man.
I will see you in Dayton, Vern. That excites me to see you up there, buddy. We'll see you then. Oh, all right. Well, I guess we are going to start wrapping it up because we are going to head over to After Chat. Once again, if you would like to join After Chat, you can go over to Patreon and sign up for a free 7-day trial. And then the most important part, message myself or Dan or Hayden so we can hook you up into Discord and get you in there. Because if you just join the free trial, I will get a message at some point tonight, and I won't know nothing about it until it's too late. So make sure and you send myself or Dan or Hayden a message, and we'll get you in there and get you in with all the fun with us. Hayden, what you got coming up?
Not too much. Gonna go down this weekend. It's gonna be nice. Gonna do some work on a boat, getting it ready to go back in the water.
All right, Dan, what about you?
I'm going to do a leap year activation tomorrow, and I'm going to stand by right here on this YouTube channel and listen to Michael take us out with a beautiful call sign.
For me, I'm going to head over to After Chat now. Tomorrow, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm probably doing some activations that somebody wants for sure. And I'll definitely be doing leap year activations, but if things go well tonight, I'll probably be going to do something that somebody really needs. So other than that, I will be dropping a video tomorrow. And if you've missed all the videos that I've dropped all week long, go back and check them out. See everybody over at After Chat. Michael, you can tell us what you got going on and then end the stream with a big Kilo Echo 4 Eastern Standard Time.
Well, if all goes well to plan, I'm going to activate in the morning, activate Friday, but I want to activate in the morning for leap year activation. And then I got to take a kid to doctor, so I got to get out and do the activation first. So. And I'll see everybody in After Chat. This is Kilo Echo 4 Eastern Standard Time.
73.
73.